25, who has to repost on the forum, so welcome to TGC Tours. If you're new here, welcome. It's the greatest community ever. If you've been here before and just lurking, welcome back. Get more involved, etc., etc. Just so you know who I am Catcherman22, go by Dan as well. I am the CC scheduler for TGC Tours, which gives me the credibility to be a judge for this contest since the courses are being designed for the CC Tour. First and foremost, I am going to tell you I'm not a designer. You will have a second judge give you some notes about design aspects of this. I am looking at this strictly from a playability and a shot value standpoint because that's what I look at when I schedule courses for tours. So I'm looking for things like, did you give me an opportunity to play different shots? You know, is the design of your greens and your shinings interesting? Your hazards interesting? Are they good placement? Do you keep me mentally engaged throughout the whole round, etc., etc., etc. And then I'm also going to look a little bit at the routing and the flow and the variety of holes, but we'll talk more about that when we get into the scorecard after the first hole. And then ultimately, you know, would I schedule this on tour? Would I recommend it to a friend to play, etc.? Okay. I'm not actually going to score, quote unquote, score this round. I will play at least 4 rounds on this course before I give it a score. What you're getting in this video is my first playthrough of the round, so I've not seen anything in this course other than what you've posted in your thread in the forum. So you're getting the first like raw notes and thoughts as I go through and play the course for the first time. And what I do when I play this is I will make notes of pins, winds, and conditions that I want to try again, because it's usually what I do when I schedule a course, is I will play it multiple times under different conditions to try and figure out which one is the best for me to schedule with. Alright, with that being said, let's get started. Got some nice looking pictures. Just judging by the pictures, the fairways are a little on the narrow side, but we'll see. All right. Really narrow for a CC course, right off the bat. The planter is kind of cool with the practice green up there. That was at the clubhouse to the left. Yeah, it is. That's kind of cool, but this is really narrow for CC. Just right off the bat here. I should also mention I'm a PGA player playing master clubs, but I've been doing this enough that I know what works and what doesn't for CC and also for pro clubs. Okay. I do like the green shape. That's nice. Nice looking green shape there. A little, like I said, a little on the narrow side for the fairway. 187 pins. That's also something I'm not a big fan of for CC. Generally, as a scheduler, just so you know for future reference, I like to see in the 150s and the 170s. And the reason for that is because very fast is 187. The fast greens are 163 and moderate greens are 144, and so somewhere in between allows us to have like a range of conditions. So right now I really only have 3 conditions. I have 144, 163, and 187. Right, let's look at your distances, and so what I'm looking for is variety in the lengths of the holes. So in the par 3s, the par 4s, and the par 5s, I like to see short and long. Okay, so the 3s have got 213, 194, 140, 243, and 204. So you've got a lot of long par 3s for a CC tour. Right, the 4s, they're run the gambit. That's pretty good. You've got a 515-yard par 4. That's going to be interesting to see how that plays. And then the par 5s, 586, 587, 556, 522, and 583. Okay, so let's have a look here. Some of these are going to depend on how they play. This is a good looking hole right here. I see 3 pins. I'm curious where you've got your 4th pin. Oh, get fast. It's gonna put me on the wrong side of the screen. That'd be great for that back pin. Right. This is also going to be a bit of a problem. That's usually frowned upon in designing. It's not horrible, but having the sections of green that are completely cut off from the others. It's not the be all and end all. It's just it encourages flopping on the green, which we don't like to see unless we have to. Alright, another really narrow fairway. That is a massive retaining wall. Wow, I don't even know what to hit here. Oh, I'm gonna hit driver, because why not? Oh, it's gonna go right in that bunker. That's actually an interesting little short par 4. Again, you've got a small portion of green. I'm sure you've got a pin over there. This one you probably fit 4 pins on. It's a little humpy on the screen. I generally like to see the green a little bit flatter around the hole. Again, don't take my making that putt as that it shouldn't be flatter. I mean, some of this is personal preference, but again, like knowing for CC, like this is way too narrow for CC. I mean, I've got a circle's width to land this, and I've got trouble to the right and trouble to the left. So I really don't have anywhere to hit this as a CC player. Right? So I can tell that's going to be a theme throughout this course, is the narrow fairways. It's probably going to knock it down a little bit. I mean, you do get away with it because you've got some shorter par 4s. Like, this is a nice sized fairway right here. So on the 340-yard hole, you've got a wide fairway, but on the on the long par 4, the hole before this, it was like a third of that size. And that's something you need to watch, right? Maybe when you have a long hole, a long par 4, you want to make sure you've got plenty of room for them to hit the ball. Alright, 2-1 up the hill. Not a bad little par 3. Chipped it in. back-to-back par 5s here. 587, but plays 457 because of the massive downhill and side. Is that fairway part? Okay, that fairway's not part of the hole. Why is there a bunker there? And what hole is that? Is that bunker in play on the next, or did you just put that bunker there for this tee shot? Wow. So you've got another nice wide fairway here. I'm interested to see if that bunker on the other fairway comes into play. Gonna be short, but I didn't have much other shot there because I only have a 2-wood. That's too far. Too far. Alright, so that's an interesting par 5. Like I said, I'll be interested to see coming back on that hole if that fairway bunker comes into play. Because that was a weird spot for that bunker. Alright, so you see, this is a good idea right here. Not a huge, crazy fan of this bunker. But you're giving me an option here, right? Because I can really try and drive over this and challenge that. I can go left, but I don't have a good angle. Or I can lay up to the right. So I've got options here, which we like to see. Of course, I'm going to challenge the bunker, because why not? Ooh, just missed the tree. Just missed the tree. So you kind of widen the fairways a little bit as we've gone, which is good. Again, it's been on the holes where you don't need it though. So you can get away with this. This is a narrow fairway too. This is a bright borderline for the length of a fairway. Generally, you can tell by the width of the circle. For me, it's the width of the circle. So more than 2 is ideally what I'd like to see for CC. You can get away with it because it's a short par 4 here. So it works. Well, like I remember on that other hole, you had 1 circle length, right? Off the fairway on a 470-yard par 4. That bunker needs a little bit of work there, the way it goes into the face like that. I'd like to see it just a hair smoother, because it looks a little weird. Again, don't take my score as thinking this is too easy. Alright, 472, massively downhill. Again, same idea, right? Like with this drive, I'm going to end up in that fairway up here. Right, which is really narrow, which is going to force me to lay back. Not a bad thing, depending on this shot, but I have a feeling that tree comes into play on the next shot, which is really bad. Yeah. So I could do without these 2 trees right here. Honestly. This line of trees, you could get rid of that line of trees. And be good. Because if you're forcing me there to kind of go for that shot into the narrow fairway because at least I'm in the rough. You know, whereas there I was in the fairway, but I was blocked out by trees. So while you think you're giving me options, you're not really giving me options, is what I'm telling you. Alright, 285, dead downwind. Alright, a good little short par 4 here. See if I can run this 3-wood up there. Get up that hill. Oh, just short. Is it OB behind it? Is that what you're doing? Hey, interesting. Interesting that that's OB. Definitely makes that a little more challenging as OB than just going off down behind the green there. Alright. 522, par 5. Nice wide fairway. And again, you could also get away, theoretically, with a narrow fairway on a par 5. Wow, I don't have a clip for this. I pulled it. Which means it's gonna go long. Because when you have a par 5, you're forcing them to be a little bit riskier. Right, if they want to take advantage of the par 5. Alright, back-to-back par 3s. Here's the short one. Plays uphill. That is a bit disappointing. What is this? Why? You don't tell me you put a pin up there. You can't possibly put a pin up there. That's going to be interesting for me to find out. I hope you didn't put a pin up there. I kind of want to hit it up there now. I mean, if you want, you could make that a tier. It'd be a really steep tier, but... I hope he didn't put a pin up there, because that would be really hard. It's an interesting idea, but not a small green, like that size, way above it, right? Alright. Okay, this plays massively downhill, which is good. Really small green for a 240-yard par 3. I'd like to see you increase the size of this green quite a bit. In fact, you could probably get rid of that back bunker and make all of that green behind it. Yeah. So you've got some good holes here. Like I said, my major concern right now is the hard holes you're making really hard, and the easy holes you're making really easy. Alright, the long par 3s, the long par 4s, you've got really narrow fairways or small greens. And the par 4s, you've got massive fairways. Except for this hole. Although this hole is uphill, so it's not really that short. You guys, wide fairways and larger greens. This is a cool little green design right here. I like this. Right. Par 3. Okay. I mean, not sure how I feel about that right away. I'd like to be a little shorter probably if you're gonna put a bunker there, but it's okay. Bang. Hey! My 9th ace on TGC 2019. Caught on camera. Alright, here's the long par 5, or par 4. See, now this is better, right? Because you've got wide fairway here on a long hole. And again, you're giving me options. Let's have a look at the green side here. This creek running through is nice. I could probably do without that tree on the left there, that first tree. See, this is how I imagine that par 3 green, the short one. Right, it's almost the same exact thing, except on the par 3, where that ridge is, you made that all fairway. Alright, so this is a good long par 4. You've done this well. It's still reachable, even with the end of the wind. I mean, if you made the headwind a little bit stronger, it might not be. But with the trees the way they are, I can't imagine this being too high of a wind course. Alright, finish off with a par 5. See, this is a narrow fairway, but you get away with it because it's a par 5. Oh, fast. It's going to be in the bunker. Oh, yep. Alright. So, like I said, there are holes on this course that I like. There are holes that leave me questioning some stuff. But overall, it's not bad. I would encourage you to keep going. Because you've definitely got potential here. Me on the forums after this gets released. Some constructive criticism designing wise from whoever the other judges for this matchup. But with that being said, best of luck in the contest.